Okay, so hey, how's it going, guys? Collective Moments here, and today we'll be reacting to a couple videos about UAPs and stuff, and UFOs and UFO conspiracies and stuff like that, and the people talk about UFOs and everything, right? And I just found a couple videos. One is most recent, just talking about just new details and stuff like that coming out about UAPs and aliens and stuff like that, and another one is I think it's a more older video talking about someone who is more someone who is known in the UFO community and stuff like that, and how he just he believes there's people trying to undermine what is ufology, you know what I mean? People trying to disrupt the narrative or just hold back information and stuff like that. And some pretty decent videos, pretty crazy stuff, and I try to make it as entertaining as I can. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, please leave a comment, tell me what you think. If you liked it, let me know what you liked about it. If you don't, please tell me what you didn't like. But apart from that, let's get into video, guys. Peace. All right, so here we have new details reveal everything is about to change.
A former U.S. Air Force nuclear specialist says we could see photos of a recovered UFO this year. And the Pope is reportedly preparing for first contact with ET life.
Say what? Ain't no way. Hey, yo, how the Pope? Hey, bro, come on, bro. Wait, live?
Here to report the information without bias, and you can decide what to believe. You can find the sources in my detailed articles at ufonews.co, along with in the description box below. Hey ufologers, I'm Christina Gomez, and welcome to this episode of UFO News Updates. Gene Stico is a retired U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant who spent over 30 years working in military intelligence, along with working with nuclear weapons security. But what makes his perspective unique is his connection to a remarkable story from the Cold War era. His father-in-law was a Soviet airspace engineer who allegedly compiled detailed engineering notes in the 1980s and 90s, describing propulsion and material systems far beyond the technology of that time. While he recently gave an interview to the Daily Star, and that's how I kind of got him on radar.
Wait, USA nuclear specialist claims Donald Trump could release bombshell UFO picture soon. What?
He did do an interview with Hannibal TV in late 2025, so he explained exactly what he expects from the current administration regarding UFO disclosure. Take a listen.
I think anything that we expect to see from the politicians, we have to keep in mind, again, it needs to be politically beneficial for them. Nothing will be released outside of a cycle that they need it to be released in order to achieve whatever the political goal is, which is always re-election and keeping the party in power and all of those factors.
Gene was asked by the Daily Star whether the U.S. government has evidence of ET intelligence. He said the smoking gun is out there, but whether or not they wheel it out for public display, that's another question. He believes any disclosure will come for political advantage or positioning.
Yo, it's crazy. That sounds crazy. Right? But if you think about it, would you not vote for the dude that's telling you about aliens, bro? It's kind of smart, bro. Because I ain't gonna lie, if you put some shit out about aliens, if you told me to vote for you, I'd probably end up voting for you.
And that is exactly why he thinks President Trump will be the one to do so. David Grush said the exact same thing. And Gene says he expects the next step to be a presidential commission, which would set the stage for a disclosure speech. He made it very clear that it will not be everything people want, but it could make the existence of UAP official. Gene suggested the public might at least get—
Wait. It might not be what everybody wants, right? So what are you going to tell me that, yeah, UFOs are real, we make them, but aliens aren't? That's what I believe.
enough to satisfy what he calls the collective itch. He even mentioned the possibility of photos and a recovered craft being shown to the public. He explained that if Trump frames this correctly by forming a nonpartisan commission of physicists, scientists, academics, economists, and experts in intelligence, aviation, defense, and biology, and clears them for special access program access, it could be the path forward. And then Gene pointed to a specific timeline that keeps coming up in his research.
This 2027 window makes sense. If the US government had access to, let's say, the ability to form the same types of conclusions, so they're kind of working off of similar playbooks.
Here's where it gets really interesting. He believes 2027 is significant not because something's going to drop out of the sky. He thinks it's significant because it marks the 75-year window from the 1952 Washington, D.C. UFO incident. The year 2027 has been on a lot of people's minds. Jeremy Corbell mentioned that it would be
That's
a
almost
fake
100
UFO encounter.
years.
Prophecies say it could be a real encounter. Either way, something will happen in 2027. Gene explained that classified documents from that era.
Aliens are coming 2027, guys. Get ready. ET's gonna be finger probing all of us, bro.
That were not revealed as part of Project Blue Book automatically become reusable in 2027. So if we think about a politically beneficial course of action, 2025 and 2026 would see Congress passing legislation. Then in 2027, that would bring document releases that were already maybe scheduled. But whoever is in office gets to take absolute credit for it. Now, there's so much more to come, so don't go anywhere, because the Vatican story ties directly into all of this.
Yeah, that's what I want to
These
hear.
claims from Gene come at a time when disclosure momentum is building. The documentary Age of Disclosure released in November of last year and became the highest grossing documentary in Amazon Prime Video history. It features 34 senior officials from U.S. government, military, and intelligence sectors discussing what they described as an 80-year-old global cover-up. Gene also addressed what he sees as a controlled disclosure process that has reached its own limits.
Okay.
I think that is more indicative of the government originally having this controlled disclosure type process that, they were going to drip it out over time. And that pipeline, that system has reached its capacity and it's no longer manageable. So now we're seeing what is described as transition by design, where there's a lot more focus, and it starts with the UAP Disclosure Act, this new one, and its new structure. Mm-hmm. So the new focus is on better structuring the institutions. Mm-hmm. And what we'll see, and we're already seeing some of it come out, because the next step becomes the international cooperation. So we're already hearing of things in Canada, in the UK.
Then, of course, the UAP Disclosure Act has been blocked every single year for the last few years, when just about to finalize the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. But it's not just the US government being pushed towards transparency. One of the oldest and most powerful institutions on Earth appears to be preparing as well. British documentary filmmaker Mark Christopher Lee claims he has been given rare access to the Vatican's secret archives.
Whoa, they let the people from the UK into the Vatican?
Lee says,
why not us? Why not USA? Fuck the UK.
He is investigating
no disrespect. I love my UK brothers.
Historical accounts of unexplained phenomena that may shed some light on humanity's interactions with alien civilizations. And he believes the Catholic Church is already considering the theological implications of discovering ET life. He gave a recent interview to the Mirror newspaper, but he also did an interview with the International Public Radio last year. Sharing this older interview is to provide context for what he recently mentioned on the Mirror. Lee explained why he believes the Vatican has been preparing for this exact moment. Take a listen.
That we're getting very close to some sort of either disclosure or first contact. Something big is going to happen very, very soon. And I was just looking at being a Christian myself, I was looking at what implications does that have for Christians and for other, religious people. How does it impact on their faith? The fact that we will no longer be the only intelligent life in the universe. Are there, spiritual aspects to it? What would we do, and what would the church do, and the various, the Jewish faith, the Islamic faith, how would they react?
He's asking some very important questions, and he has done the research to back up some very...
I kind of hope that people wouldn't freak out, yo. I hope they don't kill the aliens, bro. When was your first stream? When was your first ever stream? Utsi, I honestly, Utsi, I don't know, like a year or two ago, maybe?
Interesting answers. But what gives credibility to these questions and hopefully answers is the Vatican's own astronomers. The Church has been studying the stars since the 16th century and maintains the Vatican Observatory near Rome. Back in 2008, Father Gabriel Funes, then director of the Vatican Observatory, stated in an interview with the Vatican newspaper that the possible existence of extraterrestrial life does not contradict the Church's teaching. He said ruling out aliens
Thank you, Utsi. I appreciate that, homie.
would be like putting limits on God's creative freedom. Then fast forward to 2025, Pope Leo XIV appointed Father Richard de Sousa as the new director of the Vatican Observatory.
Dude, what do these people even do? Like the Pope, what does he even do? I mean, Sunday only comes once a week, bro. So what do you do Monday through Saturday, bro?
He would baptize an alien. Father de
What?
Sousa...
Vatican astronomer says he'd baptize aliens as children of God. Boy, you better hope they don't hit you with that laser beam.
said yes. He stated theology would have to reimagine itself to take into consideration these other beings. He described any potential ET beings as children of God. Lee believes these religious institutions are more prepared than the general public realizes.
I think the church, all the main religions, I would say, they're all prepared for it. That's what I found out. It's not like a big shock anymore. And I've just been recently speaking to an Islamic scholar, an imam, and he's very open-minded to the fact that, there's going to be alien life. Probably see it soon. It's all part of God's.
What the hell, bro? Is this serious, bro? Like aliens as from another country, or like aliens from another planet, bro? Damn, bro. Can you imagine, yo? I'ma straight up just be fucking straight alien shorty, bro.
Creation. So I think, the world's main religions, are behind it. I mean, whether that's because they know it's going to happen, they've got to get a plan because they don't want to lose their power and authority.
Lee pointed out that the Hindu and Buddhist faiths have also been very open to the idea of ET life, and he has recently spoken with Islamic scholars who have also been open-minded about it being part of God's creation. Lee believes 2026 could be the year everything changes. Faith and prophecy have always guided humanity. Now, with UAP disclosure and global interest at an all-time high, he says these forces are converging in a way that has never happened before.
Dude, if ET doesn't show up 2026, 2027, I'm gonna be fucking hot. I'm gonna pull up in my own spaceship and find this motherfucker, bro.
And then he brings up the Fatima case. Was it a spiritual encounter or an alien encounter? Take a listen to what he had to say.
Have you heard of the vision of Fatima? It was these 3 peasant Catholic children in the early 1900s. What they actually saw, their description, it was orbs. It was like a UFO, basically, what they saw. But at the time, because they were Catholics, and go to church every Sunday, they believed it was the Virgin Mary, and that's what the Catholic Church obviously took over the investigation. This vision they had of the Virgin Mary, which was probably orbs or a UFO, gave them a message, and these messages were written down and kept secret in the Vatican for a very, very long time. So, but it goes to show that religion has interpreted orbs, UFOs, as spiritual, as manifestations of God or the Virgin Mary, or so. Religion has kind of put obviously a religious slant on these, but maybe we're dealing with something that's not necessarily religious, but is extraterrestrial.
So we have a former Air Force nuclear specialist saying we could see photos of recovered craft this year, and maybe even the Vatican also addressing the issue. The question is whether 2026 will actually deliver on these expectations, or will we see another year of promises without substance? What do you think?
Dude, I mean, this is the first time I ever heard of like the church, bro, the Pope, bro. I mean, the Pope is talking about aliens, bro. What is going on, bro? Last year they accept the gays. This year they're accepting aliens. Shit is getting crazy, bro.
Will President Trump be the disclosure president? And will disclosure even happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm Christina Gomez, and that is it for today. I will see you again next time for another UFO news update. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies.
17 narrative and Lou Elizondo and Chris Mellon, all these guys started coming out. Obviously, we were all extremely excited about it. Over time, you know, there were some issues, like some contradictions. Lou Elizondo especially has contradicted himself quite a lot. And
Before Jay continues, you might recognize Lou Elizondo from episode 2194. He's a former senior intelligence officer for the Department of Defense, specializing in counterintelligence. He also led the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program.
some of us started to get a little bit suspicious of these people and just started asking questions. It didn't take long for us to be targeted by a pretty significant network online of people that were trying to hack and dox us, and people like, he hasn't put his actual name out there, but people like Red Panda Koala.
You know shit is serious. You start asking questions and you start getting doxed, bro. Golly. Start looking around like Mr. Krabs, bro. What's going on?
Was doxed online, had his family house put out online, photos of his underage sister put out online by a group of individuals who are all very closely connected to Lou Elizondo. And this is something that you would not notice outside of being in the minutia of X, because you would see these troll accounts, these really nasty troll accounts that were all being followed by Lou. And when they were having their accounts shut down and reinstated, Lou was one of the first people following them.
I find it annoying that no matter what serious topic is discussed, that there is always some sort of deep state behind it.
Why would you follow, like, that's like you leaving a crumb trail. Why would you follow your, like, you gotta play that shit off, bro. Like, if you're racist, you just can't follow a bunch of racist accounts, bro. You know, you gotta like the pictures or favorite them, but you can't follow, bro. You can't follow, bro.
Every single time never fails.
Some people have actually come out about this group now and revealed screenshots of DMs where they're in private conversations with people like Lou and Gary and, you know, some of these other guys who I got connected to early on, very early on. I got some of the first interviews with these people and was very pro it until I started realizing that they were very much trying to control the narrative, and there were, you know, things you couldn't speak about, can't talk about, you know, reverse engineering or consciousness initiated contact. Anything to do with Greer is completely poisonous. Lou Elizondo was actually, he called Greer and a couple of other people terrorists. He said, I wouldn't negotiate with terrorists when asked about Stephen Greer.
Dr. Stephen Greer is a retired emergency physician and a leading officer.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie.
Dr. Stephen,
I'm not gonna lie. Anything he told me, I would take 100% serious, bro. These glasses right here say, motherfucker, I know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Greer is a retired emergency physician and a leading, often controversial figure in the UFO disclosure movement. He was one of Joe's earliest guests, episode 331. This is what he had to say about Lou Elizondo.
So I have gone to various meetings to provide information initially, and I know others are doing that. Unfortunately, some of the others doing it are known counterintelligence operatives who are providing false information. So I, briefly had a quick chat with Don Jr. at a meeting, and he had been taken in by a known counterintelligence person named Lou Elizondo, who is someone working to intercept these whistleblowers and then turn.
You seem to be a big fan of his. It's what I hear.
No, Elizondo is a paid disinformation person. And
how convinced are you of that?
100%. I have an email from the top guy at the CIA who was there when Ronald Reagan wanted to know about this when he was running for governor, who was a very young postdoc, and he immediately wrote and said this is what he's doing.
This was Lou's rebuttal.
Stephen Greer. What are your thoughts on Stephen Greer?
I don't know him. So I don't ever usually have an opinion on anybody. I never talk about anybody if I haven't had a chance.
I'm sorry, bro, but I don't know. His whole vibe already just says like, bro, I'm full of shit. You just, I mean, you know what I'm talking about? You could just kind of just feel it, bro. Look what you're wearing, bro. You got, your shirt isn't even buttoned all the way up. You're more like out of swagger here, bro. I'm 100%, 120% gonna take more serious the man that comes in the suit, button up all the way to the goddamn T, bro. I'm sorry, but it's just that simple, honestly.
I don't ever usually have an opinion on anybody. I never talk about anybody if I haven't had a chance to meet them personally.
What do you think about what he says? Because,
well, where are the whistleblowers? And I'll tell you, isn't he the same guy? They wrote an
I like how he says that he doesn't know anything about him, but he knows about the whistleblowers, right? Hey, look, it don't add up.
Article about, if I'm not mistaken, who apparently was accused of taking people on a tour and then paying some dude to pay, like $500 to drop flares out of a Cessna. Is that the same guy?
I don't know that.
I think there was an article. You can. I think it was done by the Debrief, I think. Anyways,
wait a sec. I thought you didn't know who he was.
I told you.
People have dubbed this as the UFO hate group. This is very well known online, the UFO hate group. And it's a group of people that are so savagely in favor of people like Lou and this kind of modernized narrative that if you even go half an inch, like I really gained my accolades in the UFO community. People, really praising me for the interviews I was getting until I started asking a few questions about people like Lou, and suddenly I get an absolute maelstrom of hatred from people that were once really, enjoying my content. And I'm quite lucky. I haven't been targeted so heavily. Some people have had their lives ruined by these people who are all connected to individuals like Lou. And Lou actually said that he came to burn ufology to the ground. Like, he actually said that in an article. He was like, I want to burn ufology. I want to destroy it.
When did he say that?
Is that what it's called?
A few years back now.
Not
the study of UFOs, ufology.
In a similar way. In a September 2022 opinion piece titled Why Ufology Must Die that was published on Liberation Times, Elizondo strongly criticized traditional ufology and called for its end in its current form. He argued that ufology as practiced with sensationalism, drama, ego-driven conflicts, clickbait, and lack of scientific rigor must die to allow a more professional, academic, and data-driven rebirth, likening it to a phoenix rising from ashes.
Why did he say it? What was the context?
I think it was just about the way in which the UFO community has, been misrepresenting the phenomena and like the confusing spaghetti junction of narratives. And he just kind of, I want to put a hard reset.
Doesn't that kind of actually make sense to say?
Does he know things?
But what does it matter if he does? It's all entertainment, right? I mean, if UFOs aren't real, if people say they aren't real, what does it matter if somebody's talking about them, bro? He can say the motherfuckers have wings and shoot fire out of their fucking mouth, bro. As long as, if y'all are saying that it isn't real, so what does it matter, bro? You know what I'm saying? But as soon as they start saying like shit that kind of is like, believable or credible, it's like, all right, bro, you shut your mouth, I'll knock you the fuck out, bro.
Don't think he knows things?
Hold up.
What does he know?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? They all know something, but none of them can tell us. And they all knew it from someone else. And someone else told them. And they knew it. And they know this.
I never heard of this JM.
That's 100% true. And, it's not even that. Yeah, well, I don't know, dude. It's hard to... how are you going to take the guy that used to work for them serious? You know what I mean? And then nobody, if nobody's targeting you, if you just left one of the most covert, most covert, what is it called? Whatever that is, dude. You just left the freaking CIA, you know what I'm saying? One of the most freaking intelligent places in the world. And you're talking all this crazy shit and nobody's telling you, yo, shut up, or hey, yo, you can't say that, bro. They're just letting you run your freaking mouth and they don't add up. It don't add up. You're supposed to go out like Jeffrey Epstein, brother.
Person guy till this show, and man, I like him. He nailed it. When I listened to the Lou Elizondo episode when he came on, I was pretty underwhelmed. He literally didn't share anything that isn't already out there. The reasoning that is explained next makes all the sense in the world now.
And like, dude, I was so in love with all of this. You have to understand that I was a believer. I was like, this is amazing. I had my orb experiences, so I had a bias already. I was like, I'm ready to believe in whatever you're saying.
He does tell his full orb experience story on the show. Joe posted it on his official Clips channel. Check it out. It was a pretty interesting story.
It took me a while to start actually realizing that this is not going in a direction I think it should be going, and that there's a heavily curated narrative. And if you try and question the narrative, you will be punished by groupthink. It felt like, honestly, I started to feel like I was in a COVID cult for ufology, where you just can't talk about Lou Elizondo in a bad light, regardless of the fact that this man has gone on stage and presented literal fake UFO photos to the public, which have been debunked in less than 24 hours, and they had to admit that they were fake because of the debunks, but people are just happy to forget these things happened. Like, he went up in a congressional setting and held up a UFO photo that was proven to just be fields, like agricultural fields. Yes, this is a fake. That's not a shadow. That's a darker field next to the lighter field. These are two circles. And this was proven. He had to admit it. This is in a congressional setting.
Just to add in, it was 2 irrigation circles that can easily be double-checked by its coordinates on Google Maps. And this is the guy calling for reform on ufology? What a joke.
This man apparently ran the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. I call bullshit. I don't believe he did, because he seems like more of a government stooge, and he feels like someone that would be sent out to do what he admits he was doing, counterintelligence. He's a counterintelligence, counterterrorism.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Guy. I'm not a UFO guy.
That's the least guy you should take serious. The counterintelligence
terrorism,
guy.
counterespionage guy.
He's also one of the guys calling for amnesty, right?
Oh, how surprising. Yeah, exactly. Color me shocked. Yeah, no, he is. Like, color me shocked.
Does he say that in because a lot of them do say it. I want to make sure that he actually said that.
I don't know.
In the Age of Disclosure
I'll be perfect.
Yep, he did say it in the Age of Disclosure documentary, and he has been an advocate for amnesty for years.
To be honest with you, Joe, I haven't even fucking watched it, because I'm just not interested in that element of the UFO subject anymore. I've been burned by these guys. I've had Gary Nolan emailing me like, why aren't you on the team anymore? Why don't you be a team player? It's like, because you're literally telling me that I can't tell my own fucking truth. You're censoring me and saying that I'm not being a team player.
You might recognize the name Gary Nolan from episode 2372. This is actually disappointing if it's true. He's one of the guests that actually had some credentials you could trust.
I have an issue with the idea that someone like Lou Elizondo can go to the New York Times and say that the Secretary of Defense wasn't being briefed on UFOs, and I'm the one that was running a program, when people like Julian Assange and Edward Snowden are being thrown to the wolves for just revealing standard national security issues. This is maybe even deeper, right? This is black budget. This guy can just roll out to the New York Times. Seems a little bit planned.
That's what I'm saying. I just said this, right? Like, you can't just leave one of the most intelligent facilities in the world that knows everything, secrets and all, bro, and you just start running your mouth, bro, and they put you on the front pages, bro, and you still ain't got slimed out. Ain't no way.
Enforced. So I started asking those questions, and especially when things like this were happening, where there were discrepancies, where he's bringing up images that are being debunked. I was like, who is this guy? Who is this guy really? And then his book comes out, and he's talking about being the torture czar in Guantanamo Bay, and the people there called him the Darth Vader of the United States. This is in his book. That he admitted they called him the torture czar of Guantanamo Bay, because he ran Camp Platinum.
For more context, Camp Platinum, which was also known as Camp 7, was the code name for the most secretive and secure detention facility within the Guantanamo Bay detention camps in Cuba. It housed 15 to 16 high-value detainees, which were former CIA black site prisoners accused of involvement in major al-Qaeda operations, including figures like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who was the alleged 9/11 mastermind, and others subjected to enhanced interrogation techniques.
I don't really trust people like this who, waterboarded people for a living and are now trying to tell me what's going on in the UFO subject.
Let's ask this question: What purpose would there be to muddy the narrative if you wanted to have a government agent come out and have what you're claiming is
it's obvious you control it. If you muddy it, that means that you have control over it. You control whether it's clear or it's dirty, bro. And them motherfuckers want that shit to be dirty. They don't want you to see through the water, bro.
A fake disclosure, like a government narrated disclosure. What would be the purpose of that?
What are they all asking for, Joe?
Money?
Amnesty.
Amnesty.
And what was happening before that is you had someone like Stephen Greer just saying, these people need to go to jail. And that was the only big voice in the UFO community
But
prior
maybe
to Tom
they're
DeLonge.
offering a window to possible disclosure, though.
Maybe.
Like, if we give them this fucking amnesty, if we don't, what happens? Nothing. It keeps going the same way it's been going. There's no actual disclosure. We keep talking about it. But if it's a real subject, and the only thing that's keeping us from learning this real subject is that, and so they're trying to push out this narrative of amnesty, I'll bite. What are we talking about?
Even though I like what Jay is pushing for, which is accountability. I'm kind of with Joe on this. If people need some amnesty in order for us to know the truth, then I'm with it. Let me know in the comments below on how you feel about this.
I think for me, again, coming up through it and just seeing how these people actually act when you challenge them. And, you know, there's a few people out there that are extremely dark individuals. Like, we're talking, like, you know, connected to all sorts of weird Satanism groups. And Lou's just there with selfies, like, hanging out with these guys. Like, he's a dodgy dude. I don't care. He's like, you know, I'm freaked out even saying this on the Joe Rogan. You know, he's like, he's going to remote view my brain or something. But at the same time, he is a dodgy guy.
It would be an understatement to say shots have been fired, but damn, Jay is using a damn machine gun.
And if you only had someone like
They
Stephen...
just linked this man to the cults, bro. He's the deep state. I can't trust him.
Greer out there, he was offering a completely different thing.
I wonder if Joe Rogan, after this, ever had that other guy here, that whatever his name
We need
is.
to punish these people. Like, they are criminals.
Right.
They've ruined humanity for 100 years of stagnating technological progress. Yeah, but that's it. That's why.
But as soon as you say you're going to lock someone up for what they did, they're going to say, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep saying that.
But that's why they got rid of him. I just think that basically they tried to overtake the narrative and they needed government
Interesting.
representatives to run this. And I just, again...
It's how they do everything. Why would we be shocked that they do it about something this important?
Well, exactly.
Especially if there is lying to Congress, misappropriation of funds, and for sure some fraud. For sure. You're talking about a shit ton of money.
Thank you so much for watching. Would love to hear from you in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you in the next one.
Dang, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, crazy, bro. You can't trust. It's just you got people that want you to know what's up, and then you got people that are still trying to block the narrative, bro. And that's crazy to me, dude. I hate that. Well, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please go like and subscribe to Christina Gomez. She is obviously an up-and-coming YouTuber with 100K subscribers. Hopefully, I'll make it there one day. And I'll keep, hopefully, if I can, you know, I'll keep reacting to her videos because she's obviously has good content and stuff like that about UAPs. And, you know, it's just kind of what I'm gonna do, just reacting to anything crazy and stuff like that, right? And she's obviously got some good stuff. University of GRE also has some great clips for the Joe Rogan Experience and stuff like that, so you should check it out. But not just that, also go check out Joe Rogan Experience, man. That dude has the craziest videos and stuff like that, man. But I'll leave the links in the description and stuff like that, right, guys? But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, you know, please leave a comment, tell me what you liked and what you didn't like. If I can work on things, you know, it'd be really helpful to me. Hopefully, you know, one day I could be, you know, a nice content creator or streamer or whatnot, and I can start making like some cool ass edits and stuff like that, you know. But hopefully we'll get there. But I appreciate everything. I appreciate the views, appreciate the likes, appreciate the comments, guys, and it means a lot to me. But I guess that's it, right, guys? Peace.